Hey, just me again. Today's video is a bit different than the other ones I've done so far. I'm going to be addressing an issue on sexuality rather than geeky nerdiness, which I've done so far on this channel. So today my video is going to be advice on how to properly do online dating on the homosexual side. Hopefully dealing with the different platforms of Grindr, Gaydar, FitLads, Lads, all of those. I'm going to try and make it as kind of simplistic yet straightforward as possible. So here we go. So the first advice I can give is be certain on what you want at the end of the day. I've talked to people in the past that have put up things like, I'm only looking for friends, or I'm only looking for dating. And those people, I've started talking to them, and what they want is some perhaps totally different to what they said on the profile. They say, I'm just after dating, but really they're just after fun. Or they said they just want friends, but they're actually just looking for a boyfriend. And because they're not clear from the start, it causes confusion and you'll both be speaking on the wrong levels. So just to yourself, know what you are looking for. It can change. It does change. I've personally just changed my decisions of what I'm looking for from one time to another. It hasn't been, sometimes it is sudden, or sometimes it's just something that comes to realization after a while. But when you do realize that, just make sure to update your profiles and just to be clear with whoever you're talking to about what you're after. My second piece of advice, so you know what you're after, you go onto a website, that which is your choice. There are certain websites that are for different demographics of the, of the general populace community. Just do some research and find out which one you are looking for. So you go online, you set up your profile. It's up to you at this point exactly how detailed you want to be. My advice, definitely be honest about your age, be honest about who you are and what you do. Even if you really don't do anything, you're just a student, or you're out to work at the second or something, just be clear about that. At the end of the day, I don't want to say it like this is advertising, but it is. It's selling yourself online to someone for whatever purpose you want. You've got to be, in a way, a bit professional about it. You've got to be honest from the start. So you've just got to put down your... So my advice is put down your basic details. You don't have to go detailed, like discussing every hobby that you ever had. One time on FitLads, I looked up someone and he literally had 3 pages of information on his intro. I don't want to be rude, but that's an intro. It's the sort of thing that you can find out from someone as you're generally talking to them, because that's a good way to build a conversation. So you've been asked about who you are. Make sure you have a face picture. Now this is a bit of a controversial one because not everyone's out, or not everyone is comfortable. Who they recognise they're gay or homosexual or bisexual, but they're not comfortable putting their face out there for everyone for various reasons. And completely respect that. But it does make it a bit difficult at the end of the day, because if you have a face picture, or have a face picture set on private, if it's possible on that system, or if you want to start talking to someone, if you've got a blank account, send a hello and then send a face picture. It's very important that you do, because a lot of people who are on for a while, after a bit, they start either blanking or they just ignore requests from anyone that has a blank profile. Well, this is sort of proof of who you are at the end of the day. So that's why it's a bit more essential that you have a photo up there. Like I said, you can set for private, which should solve your issues if you're not out, or you're curious, or you're hiding yourself for good reason. Second thing is to be honest, to have some integrity to yourself. I've talked to people before that I've been talking to for ages, and then either they'd stop talking because they've said to me they got bored, or they've decided just not to, or I find out that they've been lying about themselves online. I went out for when I was first starting this, I was chatting to someone online who had a face picture that showed him quite young with curly hair. Met for him with a drink. That picture was about 10 years old. He had none of the curly hair. He was slightly older and such. He hadn't been honest with me online. I, gave the guy a chance. I sat down, had a drink with him, and at the end, I said to him, "Sorry, I just, I don't think it's going to work at the end of the day." And that's leading on to my next point. Right, if you go on a date with someone or meet someone for a drink and such as that, and then after going away you realise it didn't work out, you have to be honest and just tell the person. I will be honest here, I'd admit, a number of times I've gone out with people, I've had a drink, or I've had a date with them, and I thought it's been successful. I message the person, I don't get a reply. And that irritates me to hell and back, that they just don't say anything. I want to know if I'm devoting my precious time to something that's worthwhile, or are you just going to blank me? What I do as a rule of thumb then in that situation, which I advise to you, is going to give them 3 chances. So either text them 3 times, or text them twice, or message them once on the profile they have. After 3 messages, if they don't reply, that is a sign that they're just not interested. They're not. I mean, no one can miss 3 messages on a phone or an application that they're using regularly. There is circumstances where people don't get back to you so quickly because something's just come up out of the sudden and stuff like that, or they're very busy with work. So give them some leeway, and if they do reply a couple of days after these 3 messages apologising, then do give them another chance and such. But if they don't reply after 3 messages, and then after a little while, like a week, it's best just to delete their number and forget about them. And my advice to you guys is don't be like that. At the end of the day, you have to treat everyone else like you treat yourself at the end of the day. And you can't expect people to give you trust and honesty online if you don't, do the same thing at the end of the day. So yeah, that's kind of what I just have to say there. It is rather simplistic advice. I know a lot of people already practice some of that, but I can't stress just how important it is, as it is easy to go online and not care about people you're talking to until you get to know them, but you won't be able to get a reputation that way. I've met people here in Oxfordshire who nowadays I avoid, because I gave them a chance. I went on a date with them, they didn't reply, or they blanked me afterwards, and now they expect me to be nice to them, to be polite. Well, I'm not. I'm nice. I'm not going to, spit at them in the street. I'm not going to flip them off or swear at them. But they're expecting me to think of them, highly and in respect and regard for what they did. I can't. I'm sorry. If you have it, to me, you have a chance, and if you don't use that chance and the 3 times I give you to, respond, then why am I meant to give you any good consideration? And why am I meant to talk to mutual friends of ours as if I rate you highly? Because I don't. That doesn't mean I'm going to go to my mutual friends and badmouth you. But if they ask, so have you guys ever met and stuff, I would be honest and say, well, we did go on a date and he just never replied. Most people will have their own assumptions and know exactly where you're coming from with that. So you don't need to really say anything else. There's too much, bad mouthing and bitching in the world at the end of the day. So there's no point getting up in flames about someone that doesn't reply to you. This may sound quite callous, but there are more fish in the sea. There are lots of great guys out there. I'm not joking here. I've met loads of lovely, honest people in my time. So you just got to go out, make the effort and find those people. So that's my advice, and I hope it helps in some small way. And I'll come back to you guys with some more stuff soon.